because that was the UGL to Fatmata Melek. You can't then turn around and profess that because of what she apparently did historically and ended up
I'm not interested.
Impregnating herself without the permission of that person's sperm, and try to say, and then eliminate people connected to them in order to try and get where she had no authority to be, and then start making all accusations and then professing that they need mental health treatment and what have you, and everything that led from there, involving that paedophilia borough. Well, she was involved in that paedophilia borough. Did you not know that?
I'm not interested.
Are you not aware of that?
You're just a nasty person. You need to get on with it.
Well, you're not aware that she was involved in that paedophilia borough in one of the blocks that I was put in, and I was repeatedly raped. No, you're not aware of that? No?
I'm not interested.
I was actually in the block, right? I was in the block where it was happening, where down below there was what was his name? An Ismail, whatever. Ismail down below. And I was in the block where that was happening.
I'm not interested.
I got moved from block to block while they repeatedly raped me. So, and you're telling me you have, and that is who she is. She had her Facebook stated on there how there was a ghoulie who came out there who looked after her, and that's funny, isn't it? Because that ghoulie was connected to the Hall data coming off the David Daniels data coming off the Mormon church. So you expect me to believe that you're not involved in it, especially when you have these videos of the Madonna coming out in, with her black Jesus and just like a prayer. Yeah? You expect me to believe you're not involved in it. I know what it's about. I've known what it's about from the beginning. Okay?
I don't give a shit.
And I don't hate you for what you did. Regardless of you, if someone said to me, it was your brother who they got hold of his sperm and basically did what they did.
Yeah.
And I said, well, it's illegal. And they said, well, it's because of your connections historically to the hospitality, and they wanted access. There was access to work, and they were classed as illegal immigrants, and they're not allowed. I said, oh, okay. I said, is that why she was trying to say that I was an illegal immigrant and tried to steal my data? And they said, yeah. I said, oh, okay. I said, well, you have to have the history. I said, you have to have the history.
How are you just allowed to be in this position is just, wrong.
What?
You just don't even know what's going on. It's sad.
Really? Because you really do, don't you? According to you, you don't have a memory. You don't have a memory of saying you want to push me down the stairs and watch me die, do you?
I do have that memory, yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
When was it then?
I'm not interested in anything that you have to say.
Well, what is it? Well, when was it then? You said one minute you're saying you don't have the memory, and the next minute you're saying you do have the memory. Which is it? I know who you are. You're that Elliot, the one who they said was Ellie. And I said, who's Ellie? And they said, well, she tried to say she was Ellie Page. I said, oh, okay. I said, in regards to what? And they said, well, what happened third time round in Collinswood? I said, the Elliot became an Ellie. Is that what you're saying? They said, no, it was an Elliot and they castrated him. And I was, what? And they said, yeah. They said he was actually an Elliot. They said he was actually, they said it's a long story, they called him L. I said it was Lewis. I said, oh, is that where the L comes from? You're saying Page? I said, I know there was a Lewis Page. And they said, yeah, and they changed his name to Ellie Page when they castrated him. I said, what? I said, yeah. So that's what they did, and then they turned around and said that was his child. I said, what? Are you kidding? They said, no. I said, oh, wow. I said, I've heard it all now. And they said, this is how a Carly Pierce appeared. And then you had a Pierce Morgan. And then you had a Morgan Freeman. I said, oh, that was the Morgan who professed that I had an abortion. Freeman Data. He said I had an abortion. I wasn't. They were saying I wasn't there. And next minute they're saying I had an abortion. I said it was all run through the medical system. They were distorting history. And this is what you think you can do if you think you grab hold of people's files. You can then distort the history, which is illegal. Did you not know that?
I'm not interested.
Yeah, somebody said to me that they turn around and say, well, if they've not been born yet, hasn't happened yet. And I said, well, if they're that far in the future, then how come they don't know what's happened? What happened previously? I said, it's all impostering. I said, that's what it is. I said, and I remember what my granddad said, which they would never get because they're not a part of that. I said, my granddad always said to me, if you look for the ingredients, you find the incentive. So if you look for the incentive, you find the ingredients, you're probably going to use that like you did before. Yeah, because you like nicking. You should be called Ross. You know that?
Yeah.
That's who you are. You're Ross. You know what, for Friends, where he nicks people's jokes. Yeah?
I'm not interested.
That's who you are. You're Ross. That's what I'm going to call you. Oh, Roslyn. There you go. There was a Roslyn connection to number 61. That's who you are. You're Roslyn. The Roslyn off of Downtown Abbey. That's who you are. The Susan. Oh, the Susan to Kevin. Of course you are. The Susan who turned around and I said to Tracy Bray, I said to her,
I need the toilet.
I did how you want to go, didn't you?
No,
yeah, I said to Tracy Bray, have you got a sister called Susan? She said no. And I said, are you sure? She goes, no. And it was you. You were in here. You were in here when they were turning around and saying that she had a brother in care called Kevin. And what happens? You end up with a Kevin phone number. And then I end up with a phone call turning around and saying, why are you answering my son's phone? And I was, what? So you think you can take my number and move my number to someone else? It's not yours to move. You don't have a rite of passage. You need to get that. All right? You have to be born to have a rite of passage. Oh, is that why you kept on saying, I'm gonna kill you? That's why you were saying that, wasn't you? Yeah? Is that why you were saying that? Yeah?
I'm on the toilet.
Is that why you were saying that you were going to eliminate me, or what you consider elimination? That's why you know what? To me, I look on it and I think, someone said to me, maybe where they said historically they were loading you up with a load of stuff and having you repeatedly, they were repeatedly pulling fetuses out at you. They were saying that you wanted to transition to a male. And I was, what? And I said that was in, that happened in that Jehovah's Witness thing. I said, that's what happened there. I said, in that Jehovah's Witness, I said, I remember that. I said, but that was after that Mormon church where I think they gave up on, where they said they were going to clean my dirty Catholic soul. They gave up on it. And someone said to me, maybe something's happened. I said, you know what? I said, regardless of what's happened, I said, you've got the same traits of her in Beckenham. And she had the same traits in that paedophilia property. That's what repulses me. Do you know that? And you couldn't have gone through what I went through if you don't realise how much that behaviour repulses me. Because that behaviour, they thought it was normal to have a repetition of constant sex with one another while they were drugging people up. And I don't, to me, I said to Nicola today, I texted her and I said to her, am I not normal? Because that behaviour doesn't, because